Let me ask you this, Joe. So obviously Jason's passed. He's gone. You did the Trioxin show. You guys performed a set of various smattering of sets and configurations of Mr. Monster songs. I saw some stuff on YouTube. I thought it was very nice. Seemed like a very nice event. What you guys did, truly, what wonderful.
I wish you were there, man.
It was
Incredible.
Israel. I was in Israel when it went down. I I might have showed my face at something like that. But I was out of the country. But I got to tell you, it seemed like a really good time, and it seemed like you really did right by your comrade. And my question to you is this:
He would have loved it.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's a good way. It's like it's a good way to
He would
send
have
off.
shit it. He would have shit his damn pants.
Yeah, yeah,
For sure. 100%.
All these people and proteges and various different collaborators over the years celebrating his music, and and that's his legacy, is his music. And my question to you is this: so I saw a video that said last Mr. Monster song from the last show, and obviously, first of all, I think you and I are on the same page about like how that stuff works. It's like when the heart and the soul of a band dies or leaves, that's it. The band is over. You can't do a thing without the thing, right? It's impossible.
That was Jason's band.
Right. That was Jason's band. My question to you is, are you familiar with like stuff like, how like Minutemen, you know who the Minutemen are?
Yeah.
The name. So when D Boone passed away, and the other two dudes were like, Mike Watt and George Hurley were like, we're done. Minutemen are done. And like a fan comes and is like, I love the Minutemen. Like, I love you guys. I love you guys. I want you guys to keep going, blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, Minutemen's done. So they create a band called Firehose, and they play Minutemen songs, and they write and record new stuff, but as Firehose, which to me, I've always loved and respected and appreciated because.
Yes.
What do you mean? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that something, do you think?
Yes.
Is there? Okay, good. That's nice. I'm glad to hear that. I think that's a good idea. I think that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that is considered and thought of and whatnot. Cause
there were a lot of unfinished business, man. And there's lots of, it is my personal duty, outside, inside, above, beyond, and within the wishes of the family, friends, fans, and everything else, to carry on the legacy of his music, man.
Gotcha.
And I mean, I'll do whatever it takes to do that.
I mean, you are the guy. You're like you're there relatively from the beginning. You were.
I'm the second most tenured member of the band.
Okay,
I'm the only person outside of Goolsby split one song with him. I'm the only person who wrote Mr. Monster songs aside from Jason.
So then whatever iteration, form, project, it makes sense that you would be involved or helming or in collaboration with in some way, shape, or form.
When we did that last show, what we called the last Mr. Monster show, that was also, Trioxin, that was advertised that way. And that was because, I mean, yeah, why would we do that without him? And it made sense to do it.
Right.
A la that show that you were at the Clash Bar. It made sense to do that, to give everyone an opportunity to see that, and to do that on a more rehearsed and grander scale.
Yeah.
That's what that was. That's why we called it the last Mr. Monster show. That's what it was. That was billed and planned that way before Trioxin Fest ever happened. Did we know that it was what that would become or what that was, or, no. Going into Trioxin Fest 2, did we sit and, Jason's mother came to me and was like, we're not going to have, no one's going to play there's going to be no Mr. Monster songs played, and I agreed. I was like, yeah. It's a little weird, am I going to start or be a part of a Mr. Monster cover band? No, I think that's what hell would be like. starter being a cover band of a band I was once in. Like
Yeah, but that's
no,
like, but dude, but that isn't that that's the beautiful thing of like something like Fire Hose or whatever, where like, or a great example, New Order, right?
there's a way to do it.
They're New Order. New Order is not Joy Division. They're, they lost the guy and they have a different thing that makes sense. It doesn't mean you have to put a label on it or like describe what it is now, but they figured out a way to do something that makes sense to the remaining people or whoever it is in an entity that works, right?
A lot of things were asked of me. A lot of things were proposed to me. A lot of things were pitched to me. And I entertained all of them. And I there are a number of ways that I have planned to, and a bunch of us have planned to carry on his legacy and to keep that music going. Like I won't. I'll tell you this much. I won't. I'm not gonna play under the Mr. Monster banner without Jason.
Oh, I think you would. I think it would be disrespectful, and you would be disrespected if you did so. And that's what I mean by Fire Hose versus the Minute.
I'll tell you, man. I spent so much time considering it and thinking about it because I was asked to do it. Like in the only and most honorable ways to do it. And I was given the blessing to do it. And I won't do it.
Bro,
I don't think. Listen, I thought it through, and I think there's ways to do it that aren't disrespectful. But I don't think that's the best way to honor it.
You would never have.
I think there's other ways. It's like the Misfits. It's no different, man.
It's no different, and you would not have. You would not have the legitimacy of the mantle if you did. You know what happened to TSOL? You ever hear what happened to TSOL?
No.
It's a crazy effing story. Ready for this? You familiar with TSOL, the Code Blue, blah, 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 blah. So Jack, the lead singer, and the drummer and the keyboard player, Greg and Todd and Jack, they leave the band. Ron and Mike, the guitarist and the bass player, they press on as TSOL, right? Total, like, I wouldn't say it was acrimonious, but it wasn't admissible. They left. They left the band. They knew that TSOL was going to continue without them, Jack and Todd and Greg, right?
I'd murder someone if they did that.
Okay, well, they did that.
Straight up. I wouldn't even sue a motherfucker. I'd murder someone.
All right, this is what's even crazier, is that Jack's own
over my dead body.
Huh?
Over my dead body.
Bro, Jack, the frontman, lead singer, songwriter, his or lyricist, I should say, his own brother-in-law takes over. Joe Wood takes over as the frontman for TSOL, and they get a new drummer named Mitch Dean. So now this new version, and that's the version that's on Return of the Living Dead. That's Nothing for You. That's that TSOL. It's not the original TSOL.
But they play by that name, and they play those songs.
They played TSOL, and then they started to record. Yeah, they stopped playing. They would refuse to play all the original TSOL songs, except for Silence.
Why the name then?
Joe, the story gets crazier. Are you ready for this? They keep going. Their style, they're kind of doing like this post-punk death rock thing that eventually morphs into Hollywood and Vine, LA hair metal meets bluesy metal, hanging out with Guns N' Roses. They were good friends with Guns N' Roses, used to open up for them and stuff. Breaking on a major level, Enigma Records. They were breaking on a major label, putting out albums. And eventually, Ron, the founding guitar player, he leaves the band. They get a new guitar player.
So now, no original members.
No. Mike Roach, the bass player, is the only original member. So it's like a Jerry Only type situation. They keep on going. They put out another record.
Jerry Only's not an original member.
Who?
Diane DiPiazza.
You know what? I've spoken to Diane DiPiazza.
Have you?
Yeah.